Among natural phenomena, the tide is one of the most impressive in strength and power, one of the most surprising in its regularity and discreteness of its causes. The study of tides gives the necessary information for navigation, design of ports and rifts, and demarcation of coastal boundaries. Moreover, it's useful for underwater activities, also for fishing, boating, and surfing. To try to understand the phenomenon, first, let's consider the subject of the moon and its origin. The moon will have been born as a result of an asteroid's crash on the Earth 4.6 billion years ago. Some fragments and some rocky crust will have been blasted into the space to create a ring afterwards. All those fragments will have been banged on each other and compressed to constitute the moon 10 years later. The moon is 384,400 kilometers from the Earth. Compared with the Earth, the moon's size is more or less 1/4 of it. It turns around the Earth in approximately 27 days.
Without the moon, the day's light would be there for just 15 hours. Indeed, the moon's attractions slow down the Earth's rotation. Because of the moon attractions, the Earth periodically loses shape. It's on the oceans that the effect is the most visible. The phenomenon changes the sea level, a variation that is called tide.
The tide is the Earth's breath. Even if it covers 70.8% of the planet's surface, that is 361 million square kilometers, the ocean's total weight only represents 0.4% of that of the Earth. Indeed, the average depth of about 3,500 meters is insignificant compared with the 6,370 kilometers of the radius of the Earth. Is that fine water film that is going to move under the effect of the sun and the moon. But which effect do we mean? The one that is called gravitational pull.
When Newton discovered the theory of universal gravitation, he understood that if the apple falls from a tree, whereas the moon doesn't falling on the Earth, even though both are attracted by the Earth, it's because the moon turning around the Earth are subject to the centrifugal force, which attempt to push it back. It's the same centrifugal force as the one that throws you out of a merry-go-round in rotation.
Indeed, the gravitational pull is stronger from the side of the Earth that is the closest to the moon. The variation of tide's height depends on the distance between moon and Earth. The shorter the distance, the bigger the tide. When the sun and the moon are lined up, they both pull on the oceans. It's high tides, and it's called spring tides. It's also the case when the sun and the moon pull on every side of the Earth on the same axis, but in different ways, so it's high tides as well. On the other hand, when the sun and the moon pull on the opposite axis, the tides are weak. In this case, it's called neap tides. If tides are at 50 minutes interval every day, it's because the lunar day cycle lasts 24 hours and 50 minutes. We must actually wait till the Earth turns on itself 360 degrees plus 13 degrees to find again the moon above our heads. The time interval between a high tide and a low tide is then 24 hours 50 minutes, divided to 4 equal around 6 hours and 13 minutes. At every full moon and at every new moon, that is, approximately every 15 days, the tide's amplitudes reach a maximum. At every first quarter and last quarter, the tide's amplitudes reach a minimum. We have to know that some scientists have noticed that the moon is moving away from the Earth at a speed estimated to 4 to 5 centimeters a year. The tidal range, that is the difference between the highest high tide and the successive lowest low tide, depends among other things on the type of tide, deep tide or spring tide, directly linked to the position of the moon and the sun compared with the Earth. These different relative positions are the four main phases of the moon: new moon, first quarter, full moon, and last quarter. Let's now sum up the subject. The tide is a variation of the sea and ocean level caused by the combined effect of gravitational forces of the moon and the sun. The gravitational pull between the Earth and the moon attract the planets too close to each other, but it's offset by the centrifugal force of rotation. The tide's effects have therefore significant implications for the humans and animals' lives, since every animal body is mainly composed with water.
I know your situation, a lot of stuff to fix, but it's not only in your mind that you think you've got the time.